Hello, everyone, and welcome to the kickoff of our Essential Wellness webinar series. We are so excited to be with you today. We've been doing the series monthly in Portland live for a couple of years, and we wanted to take it global. So this is our first class, so thank you so much for joining us. We will be offering monthly educational webinars with different speakers. They will be the second Wednesday of every month, so please stay tuned for our updates. I am your hostess, Aisha Harley, and again, I'm absolutely thrilled to be with you here today. And today, I am here with my dear friend and brilliant doctor, Dr. Joshi Schmidt, MD. She is also a new diamond, which is very exciting. So I'm going to hand the presentation over to you. Our topic today is New Year, New You. We're going to be talking about the benefits of Slim and Sassy and healthy weight loss. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Josie.
Thank you, Aisha. I'm very excited to be here and so happy for our new webinar series.
Yay! I hope everyone else is happy out there too. We're so excited to bring these to you.
So our intention today is to educate and empower you to use doTERRA essential oils for your daily wellness and vitality. When we consider that 65% of our adult population is overweight or obese, we want to introduce this concept of New Year, New You and how you can begin to utilize these beautiful oils and products that doTERRA offers to help people to achieve the metabolic shifts that they are wanting and desiring.
Now, although we are talking about healthy weight loss today, we also want to point out that the Slim and Sassy Metabolic Blend is a fantastic blend for everybody. It is actually a blend that I was introduced to a couple years ago, and it was the blend that really got my attention and helped me in so many ways that I'm going to talk about a little bit later in the presentation. But we also like to teach it about being a metabolic balancer.
But first, we're going to go into a little bit of physiology and explaining about how your body works. And what is all this body fat stuff? So, our body fat cells, also known as adipose cells, they are also called adipocytes, are specialized cells that contain a large droplet of liquid or fat, so large, in fact, that it squeezes the nucleus and other cell structures to the side of the cell. So you can see those little blue and purple nucleuses all squeezed out. The number and size of these fat cells varies from one body structure to another and from one person to another. A second function of fat is that it provides insulation that helps us to slow heat loss through the skin. A very low body fat percentage is associated with low body temperature, and this is not always an ideal optimal health condition. Maintaining a consistent and constant body temperature within a narrow range is very optimal and critical for normal body function. Another function of our fat tissues, or adipose cells, is actually for energy storage. This is actually the main action of our fat tissues. Our bodies make energy from the food we eat, but although our use of energy is constant, sometimes our food intake is not. Our bodies have several ways that it can store our energy for constant use. So one of the primary sources of our stored energy in our body is fat. One of the other functions of fat is that this is where our body tends to store the toxins that it is introduced to. So we have an overabundance of toxins in our environment in today's world. And toxins are really things that our body does not know what to do with. They are not natural to what it knows. So when the body comes up against something like this, one of the ways that it is trying to be good and serve you is to store it away. So it says, what is this? I don't know what this is. I'm just going to put it over there in that storage area, and hopefully we'll figure out what to do with it later. And I've spoken before, and so that's a good thing that the body is doing. When we go into losing weight, one of the things we know that happens is as those liquid droplets are released, right? And we start losing that fat out of the fat cells, the toxins are released as well. So one of the main things we're going to be highlighting here, and with any cleanse and any program we're going to be working with a metabolic shift, working with weight loss, is to be very aware of the fact that you need to be facilitating and moving these toxins out of the body with the weight loss. And we're going to show you how the oils are so helpful in that process. One thing I want to highlight is I've spoken before about the toxicity in our environment and these endocrine disruptors. These are petrochemicals, and the top one that is considered the highest, most prevalent endocrine disruptor in our environment is this thing called bisphenol A, BPA. You can look it up on the Environmental Working Group. And unfortunately, what has been correlated with BPA, with this top endocrine disruptor that is very prevalent in our environment today, is that it promotes insulin. We're going to go into what insulin resistance is and the creation of fat and obesity. Actually, in 2012, there was a study done by JAMA, the Journal of the American Medical Association, that correlated, it was on teens and young folks, a huge population, and the people with the highest, those teens and children with the highest levels of bisphenol A were found to be 2.6 times more likely to be obese. This is the study that led the FDA to ban BPA in baby bottles. More has been done and researched around this, and it is one of the things we know that even when we have our main issues of self-responsibility where we want to take control and shift our lifestyle choices, our eating choices, in today's world, what I want to highlight here is we have things working against us from our environment, from the toxins that are actually working against our physiology and making us more obese. One of the things that we'll talk about is how the oils help in that regard as well. So fat cells are formed by converting tissue stem cells into adipocytes that swell up like balloons with dietary lipids. When other forms of dietary nutrients are used to produce energy in the body are scarce. So when we don't have that much nutrients, right, when we're up against a scarce situation, our fat cells deflate and release these lipids into the bloodstream. The fat cells do not actually go away or die when they release these fatty contents. They stay there and they become kind of skinny fat cells, and they always have the possibility to reinflate as unused calories, if we're eating more, are then converted into fat and stored in those skinny cells, now become fat again. So unfortunately, our fat cells never go away. They just reduce down and release the contents of the fat. The process of creating new fat cells is called adipogenesis. The release of stored lipids from fat cells to be used for energy is called lipolysis. So when you're making new fat cells, that's adipogenesis. When you're decreasing and getting rid of the fat within your cells, that is lipolysis. Managing a healthy body fat percentage includes both of these, reducing adipogenesis, so fewer fat cells are formed, and increasing lipolysis, so that more of our stored fat can be used for energy. All right, this is kind of fun. We know there are many factors that contribute to being overweight or obese. For some people, these factors are complex and involve extenuating health circumstances. But for most people, weight gain is the form of excess adipose or fatty tissue resulting from poor lifestyle habits and choices. But we also now know that we have these toxic adversities in our environment that are challenging us as well. One theory, however, of unhealthy weight gain can be metaphorically described as the caveman syndrome. So the two basic concepts of this theory are that one, your body does not believe that your food supply will be constant. And two, your body believes that you're going to have to work very hard to obtain your food. So think about a caveman and a woolly mammoth. Yeah? So one, your body doesn't think that there's woolly mammoths walking by every day. The herd's traveling and it's not that available. And two, you're going to have to work really hard to kill that woolly mammoth. Like, it's not an easy situation. So operating on these two assumptions, your body tells you to feast on the food when it's available. That would seem smart because you don't know when there's going to be more woolly mammoths. And it tells you to eat foods that are packed with calories that can be easily converted into energy. The good, yummy, juicy, fatty foods, right? As you will likely, it's going to take a long time and you'll be chasing more foods. That's going to make energy, right? So you want to store that energy. Or you might be chased as food. Saber-toothed tiger might be coming along and you're going to have to burn up a lot of energy. So it's telling you that you want to be eating those fatty foods. When you eat food, your body uses what it needs for immediate energy to support vital life functions and stores the rest as fat in case you encounter the need to go without food in the future, right? So interestingly, your body tells you to conserve your stored energy, i.e., in today's world, that means stay on the couch. In the caveman world, that means, store the energy because we don't know when the next food's going to come around. But in today's world, our body's working for us to actually not go to the gym, to stay on the couch, because it wants you to store that energy for a future date when you'll have to travel great distances and exert great effort to find that food. So although a great energy conservation strategy for a caveman, there's a problem with these fundamental working assumptions. We're not cavemen. I love that slide, actually, about the caveman, right? It makes us laugh because it's so preposterous.
The caveman going through the drive-thru at McDonald's.
Yeah, you can see, so you see that that's a completely, like, it doesn't work, and it's not working in our bodies. We're not cavemen. In the developed world, most people do not have to hunt for their food. Fast, cheap, convenient, and flavorful food choices are readily available in high quantities. In fact, the most affordable and most convenient sources of foods, sweets and fats, are the foods that your body prefers for energy production. It also prefers these foods because of any extra calories it doesn't need for the energy for right now can be easily stored for later use. If you can get all that food without a great deal of physical energy, exertion, your body's like, great, all the better. You are one smart caveman. Now keep eating. The problem is that while some of us eat like a caveman, most of us are not forced to go without food and work like a caveman. We simply eat too much and sit too often, which makes us fat. Wah, wah.
I want to speak to this for a moment, too, because how many of us work behind a desk in front of a computer all day? That's become very common in the workplace. And that rise of cortisol and all of that stress production that happens in your body ends up building itself up on the belly. And so that lack of exercise, those stress levels, this is very common. You especially see it in men that have desk jobs. You see all that accumulation around the belly from this predicament.
And yet eating less can be really difficult, right? Food can be both physically and emotionally pleasurable. When we are hungry, our bodies send powerful signals through various physiological pathways to let us know it's time to eat. When we respond by eating, there are equally powerful signals that reward us for responding to our body's desire to eat. These signals are influenced over time by how much we eat, what we eat, and why we eat. The combination of these powerful signals to make us eat make up that whole concept of what we call our appetite. We think of our appetite as just one thing, but in fact, there's many factors within our bodies, within our mental, emotional, and physical makeups that contribute to this appetite thing. So when we reduce the amount of calories that our body's used to eating when we diet, our appetites are heightened and we experience physical and emotional discomfort. These discomforts are real, and it requires self-control to not respond to our body's plea for more food. When appetites become too strong, we often give in and eat an abundance of these to satiate our body's desire for that readily available source of energy. So our body is egging us on to be eating those high-calorie foods as soon as we start to kind of, restrict and limit our diet on a very physiologic level as well. Our body starts to panic and wants to store more calories as fat, just in case we decide to starve ourselves again in the future. Or, just in case that troop of woolly mammoths decides to go down south for the winter. Permanent and healthy weight loss, then, will most likely result from a gradual decrease in calories that we consume and an increase in amount of the calories we burn through regular physical activity. Managing the emotional and physical discomforts of a reduced calorie diet will also improve our chances of success. So another significant factor in the healthy metabolism of food nutrients in our cells for energy production and fat storage is insulin. Insulin is the hormone produced in the pancreas, and it is essential in the conversion of glucose in the blood to glycogen, which is stored in two places in our body, the muscle and the liver. When we eat carbohydrates, basically all those, any grains and all that, anything white, right? That's one good way to label what's a carbohydrate. So when we eat these carbs, our blood glucose levels rise, and this triggers the release of insulin into the bloodstream. The released insulin promotes the conversion of excess glucose in the bloodstream to glycogen. At the same time, however, insulin promotes the formation of new fat and discourages the breakdown of existing fat used for energy metabolism. So our body is doing this, right? We eat something that is high energy food, high carbohydrate. It turns into blood sugar in our bloodstream. Insulin is the hormone that our body uses to utilize it, to make it usable in our tissues. It makes that the sugar go from the bloodstream and into our tissues. When we have high insulin in our blood, our physiology, our body is basically being told, hey, we're in feast time, right? Oh my gosh, high insulin means they just got a huge woolly mammoth feast time. There's going to be a lot of extra food here, a lot of extra energy. We want to store some of that as fat. So not only high insulin is used to store that energy and utilize it in our tissues. When you have high insulin, your body immediately starts producing fat. That's from that old feast or famine idea. Now, for healthy people, insulin is always present in the bloodstream, and the production of insulin in response to the consumption of carbohydrates is a normal and healthy function. When our bodies produce too much or too little insulin, however, it can lead to problems with glucose and fat metabolism. The inability for someone to produce insulin in the body is called type 1 diabetes, while the chronic overproduction of insulin resulting in low blood sugar causes hypoglycemia. Now, another common unhealthy metabolic syndrome is the condition of insulin resistance. Insulin resistance can result from the overconsumption of foods high in refined carbohydrates or sugars that trigger the release of insulin. Over time, too much insulin in the bloodstream decreases cell sensitivity to insulin stimulation. When cell receptors resist insulin, it prevents glucose metabolism, and your cells become starved for energy, even though there still might be high amounts of glucose in your blood. As less glucose is converted to stored energy, that glycogen, our bodies produce an overabundance of insulin, and more glucose is converted to fat. Eating foods that have fewer simple sugars and more complex carbohydrates can help lower insulin resistance. A well-balanced diet that includes whole foods high in fiber will also help healthy insulin response. Exercise is also a very important factor when lowering insulin resistance, and getting enough sleep is very important. There's a growing body of evidence that indicates that sleep deprivation also increases insulin resistance. So when we think about this, I think we go right into this pyramid. We're going to go 2 down for a second. Yeah? All of these factors come to us in our whole idea of metabolic shift in New Year, New You. We talk about eating correctly, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but exercising is so important. The rest in managing stress, so seeing that sleep, getting adequate sleep is crucial to insulin resistance and response to that, and having a healthy insulin response. Reducing our toxic load is a huge thing. All of these add together for a healthy metabolism and weight. So let's go back to, wanted to have, let you know that doTERRA has a wonderful brochure called the Choosing Change with the Slim and Sassy. And if or when you're going to be ordering products for a New Year, New You program, you want to order this brochure as well. It highlights most of the products that we'll be speaking about today, and this is one page from it. It gives a nice general overview of some of the food modifications if you are not following a more specific dietary regime. But we also encourage you, everyone is different. So we want to leave that out, that there are wonderful programs in terms of recipes, different food modifications, and some people go towards paleo, other people are vegan. I mean, we all have those differences about how we are going to be shifting into a healthier diet.
That's a great thing about the Slim and Sassy oil and products, is that they can be used for somebody that is looking for healthy weight loss, and they can also be used for somebody just for metabolic balance. So I love this program that doTERRA offers because it's very simple and it's giving you, excuse me, a very easy system to follow. But again, as Joshi said, if you're not looking for that weight loss and you already have a, excuse me, a diet protocol that you're following, you can still bring these products in very easily for your daily health maintenance. Okay, so we are going to get to the fun part.
Yes, I know.
It's not that fun. It's all the doctor stuff, but we're going to spend some time talking about the power of this oil. All that's in this oil is ginger, grapefruit, cinnamon, peppermint, and lemon. And we're going to break down the different qualities of each of these oils, each of these ingredients that are in there. But first, we want to share with you the energetics about this oil. Slim and Sassy is the oil of self-love, the oil of inner beauty, and that is such an important part to bring in. As much as these oils work physiologically on the body, they also work spiritually and emotionally. So we just wanted to go through each oil in this blend and point out the energetic aspects of it. So grapefruit is the oil of honoring the body, honoring your temple, honoring your home, right? Our health is number one, so important. And so it's very important for us to honor that temple that we live in. Peppermint is the oil of the buoyant heart. I'd also say the buoyant and happy heart. It's a very uplifting oil. It's a very energizing oil. It's a great oil for the brain. Lemon, the oil of focus. Cinnamon, the oil of sexual harmony. We're going to talk about this a little bit more on the other sides, but cinnamon is also an incredible blood balancer and blood sugar regulator. and ginger, the oil of empowerment. So know when you're using this oil, you're energetically getting the benefit of all of these qualities as well.
Okay. No, do you want to say anything else here about your experience with Slim and Sassy?
Oh, sure. Yeah,
Go back a slide for a second.
We'll go back a slide. Yeah.
I think Aisha has more to share.
I have more to share. Okay, yes. Well, I know many of you in Portland have heard me talk about the story a lot. But for those of you that haven't, I want to share a little bit of my personal experience with Slim and Sassy. I was introduced to this oil, like I said, a number of years ago when I first started with doTERRA, and I thought of it as a weight loss blend, and at the time I did not need to lose any weight, so it sat on my shelf for a year. And at a certain point, it was introduced to me just to try it, not for any particular reason. And again, for many of you that know my story, I was suffering from Lyme disease, and with that, I had a lot of debilitating issues going on in my life. One of them was I had horrible insomnia. I had really bad brain fog. I was suffering from really intense fatigue. And I found that when I started taking this oil, a sense of balance and harmony was restored. My sleep pattern regulated. My brain fog began to clear. My energy was improved. I was also at the time suffering from a lot of sugar cravings, and those all seemed to cease. And this was really the oil that gave me that first experience and really heightened my awareness to the power of this plant medicine. And so the reason why I've actually dedicated myself to sharing doTERRA with others is because of the profound impact this oil had on my life and on my health. So again, that's why we really like to stress it as a daily health tonic for everybody, because who doesn't need more energy, and who doesn't need a little bit more mental clarity? Another tip that I'll give you is I don't drink coffee in the morning. I'm very sensitive to caffeine. But when I wake up in the morning, I'm always a little groggy and tired. So I'll brush my teeth and then have a little Slim and Sassy. And it really just helps clear my mind and get myself going. It's also a great oil to use before you exercise or before you go out on a brisk walk to just give you that little extra boost of energy.
And I also, one of the ways that I love to utilize Slim and Sassy is to take a few drops under my tongue before I exercise. It's really profound for you in terms of how it helped to shift your relationship with sweets and sugar and dessert. I mean, not only did you begin sleeping within 3 days of starting to use it with a few years of profound insomnia previous, but then also I know you've talked a lot about how within really shortly, like a week.
Oh, no, it was 3 days.
No, the cookie. Like, you're like,
yeah, the cookie.
Yeah,
Let me tell you about the cookie.
That's really important because I resonate with that thing of like you see the cookie,
you want to eat the cookie,
and you want to eat the cookie. I mean, I'd rather have a cookie than a piece of cake on my birthday. So I'm a cookie person. So this resonates with me.
Yeah. So let me tell you about the cookie. At that time when I started taking it, I was craving a lot of sugar and a lot of sweets, and that can be for many reasons. That can be from candida overgrowth issues, which was the case in my situation. It can be from not eating wholesome foods, and your body's actually looking for nutrition. So I was reflecting on this morning, how I grew up eating really well. My mom used to always cook for us. And you know, when you go to college and you get that freshman 15, well, I realized that I was eating in the dormitory and the food was horrible, but I would keep eating and eating and eating because my body was looking for nutrition.
Yeah.
And so when you eat empty calories and your cells aren't getting nourished, we tend to keep eating to look for that nutrition, right? So what I experienced around the sweets is I started taking the Slim and Sassy, and you put the cookie in front of me, and then suddenly I didn't want the cookie anymore. It was It was like the difference of the struggle, and I know I shouldn't eat it, but I want to eat it, to I just simply don't want it.
Mm-hmm.
So again, the oils bring a state of balance and harmony and homeostasis into your system. So also we want to point out that if you're not needing to lose weight, the oil is not going to cause you to lose weight.
No.
And it's going to help you balance out whatever is imbalance in your system.
I've actually had that question from people who are underweight.
Okay. We back in action? Thumbs up, I hope. If you just sent me a text, let me know if you can see the slide. Okay, so let's get back on track.
We're just saying that if you are underweight, and that's an issue for you, that Slim & Sassy is not going to make your body lose more weight. The oils really don't work that way. They bring your body into balance, and I have actually seen that people who are underweight, it can help them gain weight because it's going to help you bring your body to the balance that it is desiring to achieve. So the Slim & Sassy blend is formulated with a proprietary blend of therapeutic-grade essential oils of grapefruit, lemon, peppermint, ginger, and cinnamon. The blend of all of these together help your body to adjust to reduce caloric intake during dieting. Studies have actually shown both aromatic and internal benefits of using the oils in Slim & Sassy to help manage appetite and calm the stomach and many different gastrointestinal distresses that are sometimes associated with dieting. And so I want to highlight here that is internal and also aromatic and topical. But I don't think many of us have diffused Slim & Sassy, but that's an interesting thought. Just smelling the grapefruit oil can help calm your appetite. Ginger and peppermint oils help calm the stomach and support our gastrointestinal comfort and function. And the lemon oil has been demonstrated to elevate the mood, which has been clinically associated with successful weight loss efforts. We cannot underestimate the value and importance of supporting our emotional makeup and our emotions with the process of dieting. Mood is of the utmost importance, and it can really sabotage your choices, and especially as you start to, if you reduce calories, as we've talked about, the challenge that can even be physiologically. So working with the oils, we'll talk a little bit more about that on the emotional level to help support your mood is just very important and a wonderful aspect of working with our oils. To slow down or stop using our storage of excess calories as fat in our bodies, we need to consume less calories and increase physical activity. The Slim & Sassy blend is excellent for physical and emotional support.
We're working on your healthy efforts to
reduce excess calories, convert it to fat by eating less and by helping you manage the discomforts of appetite during dieting. So we've talked about adipogenesis and lipolysis, so the Slim & Sassy blend can support our healthy lifestyle choices. It's going to help to reduce the production of new fat cells, which is adipogenesis. It also helps increase the use of existing fat cells through that breakdown, lipolysis. Cinnamon, grapefruit, and ginger have been shown to help with fat metabolism by increasing lipolysis. So if we are increasing lipolysis, i.e. the breakdown of the fatty acids in our fat cells, that is one half of the program of losing weight right there. Yeah, we go to the next slide. Are we on the slides? Okay. So the Slim & Sassy blend is formulated with the essential oils from botanicals that have been demonstrated to support a healthy response to carbohydrates. Ginger, lemon, grapefruit, and cinnamon help with fat metabolism and energy production by supporting healthy insulin response. Additionally, reducing the total number of carbohydrate calories, particularly from foods that are full of refined sugars, exercising and using Slim Sassy blend will support healthy insulin response and energy metabolism while slowing down the conversion of calories to fat. So you can see the broad range that Slim Sassy is helping to assist our body in this desire to lose weight or to shift our body metabolically. It's working on quite a few different levels of mechanism of action. And supporting a healthy insulin response is good and desirable for everyone. I don't know a single person who doesn't need help with their insulin response, so no matter what your weight is.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the dosing of Slim and Sassy, and this is going to look a little bit different depending on what results you're looking for. First of all, if you're using it for the first time, we recommend that everybody start off slowly to see how your body reacts to the oils, and you have your choice in the way that you take it. So the full dose is 3 to 5 drops under your tongue up to 5 times a day, and I recommend not taking it too late at night unless you are going out dancing or partying for the evening, because it is a little bit of a natural stimulant. But we recommend that you start with 2 to 3 drops, 2 to 3 times a day, see how that feels, and then you can work up to the full dose. If you're looking for just regular metabolic balance and taking it as the daily health tonic, then 3 times a day is probably enough. Whereas if you're looking for the weight loss to be supported, then I would recommend taking the 5 drops 5 times a day. So you can take this either straight under your tongue. If you're tasting it for the first time, we recommend putting a little bit of a drop on your finger and then tasting it before you just dump a bunch under your tongue. You can also put it in water. Make sure that you're putting it in glass, not in plastic, and you can sip it throughout the day. And if you don't like the taste, doTERRA has come out with a gel cap, and you can just take it throughout the day in the gel cap. I personally love the taste of it. However, I do remember when I first started it thinking it was a little strong, but now my body really craves it. So give it a little bit of a try with the oil under your tongue first to see if that works. You can also rub it on the bottom of your feet if you don't want to take it internally. And there is a tip that you can even rub it onto cellulite areas on the body if you want to work locally on the body.
So Aisha, you spoke about the idea of empty calories and needing nourishment. And I know when you started working with Slim Sassy, you were already taking the Lifelong Vitality Pack, right?
Not yet. I don't think I was.
Oh, you weren't? Oh, gotcha. Well, and look at that. Look at the response you got. I was going to say it was that synergy probably, but hey. But that idea that as we are shifting in our diets, we can all use nutritional help at the cellular level. And the oils are a beautiful plant phytochemical medicine. However, they are not nutrients. And our cells need energy and fuel to be able to detoxify and go through metabolic shifts, such as weight loss and changing our hormones, a lot of the different things that we are trying to achieve in different health situations. So the body needs energy to conduct its very own best efforts of protection and detoxification. And it uses nutrients to produce and create this capacity. We want nutrient density in our body. This drives metabolic function. We need the cellular energy to help detoxify our body. Our body goes through this every single day. It is very important to nourish and fortify our cells at that cellular level because of our daily toxic load. We don't get a monthly toxic load. We get a daily toxic load, unfortunately. In addition, many of the toxins in our world today are fat soluble. That means that they can pass through our cell wall membrane and they work inside the inside of our cells. The liver in particular needs support as well, as its function is paramount to the success, as it plays a significant role in helping to eliminate these fat-soluble toxins. The wonderful thing about essential oils is that they are fat soluble, so they can get inside of our cells and help us, and this is one of the ways that they help us to remove these petrochemicals from our cells. Another form of toxicity is the presence of free radicals that cause an oxidation, which, if not handled, causes damage and the premature breakdown of cells. Antioxidants are imperative for the elimination of free radicals. And at the root of all toxic conditions in the body is basically an inflamed and irritated cell wall membrane. So our best way to prevent disease and to help us work with any of these ways in which we are trying to achieve different health outcomes is to prevent inflammation. Inflammation at the cellular level, at the cell wall membrane level, and within our bloodstream as well.
One thing I want to point out here too, Josie, is that really powerful statement by Laura Jacobs that is a pretty bold statement. Maybe you can speak to this as a doctor, but that all illness comes down to a toxic cell and a malnourished cell. And then if you look at the disease state in the body and you address that underlying current, that this is really truly a starting place for everybody. And again, going back to those empty calories, processed food, cooked food, canned food, the lack of nutrients in our soil, we are just not getting the nutrients that we really need, which is really causing an inflamed state for most humans these days. Would you agree with that?
Yes, we're not getting the correct nutrients, and we're getting too many toxins that are bad for us, and so that combination together is pretty deadly.
So we've really seen from this trio that Josie's going to talk about really remarkable things happen for people, and we highly recommend this as a daily foundation for everybody. I have heard so many testimonials and life-changing stories just from this pack of supplements. And one thing that makes them so special is they have the essential oils in them, so it's really helping you get that daily dose of oils besides all of the other ingredients in them. So Josie's really the expert on these. And one thing I want to say about this is that when I started doTERRA, I thought, oh, I don't really want to sell supplements. I like the oils. In fact, this is why I wasn't taking them yet, because they might have just come out actually around the time that I took the Slim and Sassy. And I said to Josie, being my good friend who's a doctor, and I know is so knowledgeable in this area, and I said, would you please just look at these? I just need to know from you that this is a quality product. And her first response was, no, I don't, I don't.
You've asked me many times, many months.
And I was, kind of sheepishly like, Josie, would you just look at them? Because I don't want to sell something unless it's really awesome. And so she finally looked at them and was pretty blown away by the ingredients in them. And then I'll let her talk about them further. But I think it was a real testament to how awesome they are, given her knowledge base and how impressed she was. And then now that we've been using this product for a couple of years and really seen a turnaround in so many people's health from taking them.
Okay, I'm just going to do a quick overview here. So in my program of daily wellness and going through the more in-depth cleanse, I'm definitely going to be breaking them down and talking about them in more detail. But the Lifelong Vitality, it's a trio pack. And these three supplements in conjunction together are just packed with essential nutrients, vitamins, minerals. The Microplex VMZ is a whole food combination vitamin and mineral complex. The Alpha CRS is a broad range and very high level, broad range of antioxidants. And then there is the essential oils in the Omega complex as well. And it is this beautiful combination of not just fish oils, it's land and fish, so we call it land and sea oils with the essential oils. all of these products are specifically designed to supplement the typical adult diet and correct nutritional deficiencies that come about from having not densely nutritious food. So combined with a healthy diet, these products help provide a sound foundation that support both the structures and healthy function of the body. Again, it is through nourishment that the body is going to be able to perform at its best. Nutrients such as those in the whole food VMZ supply the body with the resources to produce that energy and have that nutrient-rich environment at the cellular level. The ingredients in the alpha-CRS are superb antioxidant resources, as well as they very optimally help support liver function. The Z-Omega is a high-quality source of omega-3, 6, and 9, blending land and sea, and these omega oils are incredibly necessary for the body to help work and mitigate against all types of inflammatory response. So the Lifelong Vitality Trio is a perfect way to help nourish and fortify our body's own defense mechanisms. Wanted to add in this slide because Dr. Hill talked, and it was really wonderful when he proclaimed, we need cellular protection every single day, and I couldn't agree more. And one of his quotes was, daily wellness for that protection on every single day equals D-limonene and linalool every day. So what does that mean? Our citrus oils, and we have wild orange, grapefruit, lemon, lime, bergamot. But we really, so already you're having lemon and grapefruit in the Slim and Sassy, but we're going to advocate that you work with an additional amount of what you get to choose. It's really fun, and you can be playful there and switch them around. One of the citrus oils in your water daily, either with the Slim and Sassy, or you can alternate, to give increased protection for your liver detoxification process and your mood, and helping to help support an uplifted mood. The D-limonene is the main constituent that is in all the citrus oils. They are from 70 to 98% D-limonene, so they're almost one constituent. So this is, there's been a wonderful study that was done at the University of Vanderbilt, Texas, in-house, and I think you can Google doTERRA, Vanderbilt Hospital, right? What else would you, yeah,
if you put in doTERRA, Fox News, Vanderbilt, there's an amazing study where they diffuse citrus oils in the emergency room. And I believe, don't quote me exactly, I believe it was about a 60% reduction in stress in the emergency room doctors simply from diffusing the oils. And because of the miraculous feedback that they got from this, they're now going into clinical studies. And we really like to point this out because oftentimes aromatic use of the oils, I think, gets underrated, and people don't turn their diffusers on and just see the value of putting the oils on. But using the oils aromatically is very powerful. So turn your diffusers on in your home. I have a diffuser on by my bed. Really helps improve the quality of my sleep. In fact, it's our first webinar. We were a little stressed out before we started, we have to admit. And Josie said, Tracy, get out the diffuser. We put some Roman chamomile, some frankincense in there. And wild orange. We have it sitting right next to us as we're doing our presentation today. So don't undervalue the power of aromatic use.
So that D-limonene, what is it doing? Why is it so important to have it daily? One of the main things it's doing in its support of our liver and to do a daily gentle detoxification is that it's helping our body to produce more of this thing called glutathione. Glutathione is this all-important antioxidant within our cells. It's a great chelator of heavy metals, and it's crucial for our protection against so many metabolites that come from toxic materials. And so D-limonene helps our body to produce more of its own glutathione. This is a big, wonderful thing that we look for in medicine because glutathione is a big molecule. You can't just take a vitamin pill of glutathione. So we want things that helps our body to upregulate and to do more of that. Linalool is the main constituent in lavender. And so I'll talk a little bit about that when I go over daily wellness and how important that is in our daily lifestyle as well. So we'll move on. We've talked about most of this idea of the citrus oils being really important in our daily life, diffusing them, wearing them topically, and having them in our beverages, getting in. Dr. Hill says anywhere between 15 to 20 drops, 25 drops internally daily is ideal. So that's quite, that's a good dosage right there.
Right, and can you talk about why? Because it helps with the glutathione production?
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit? Okay.
Yeah, so I did that. It helps with our glutathione. And that glutathione, so you see they're removing petrochemicals. That's part of that process of what glutathione is helping our liver to do. We also see that lemon is known for balancing blood pressure, the uplifting the spirit, so supporting our mood and our neurochemistry, helping to stimulate white blood cells, helping our body to stay more alkaline. These are all very important. So we just want to kind of bring that home. That healthy foundation is right there, working with the trio pack of the Lifelong Vitality, having some extra lemon or citrus oil in your daily water consumption, and working with Silman Sassy daily. This foundation right here is crucially important and profound. Profound. If you take that on, I guarantee, I guess I can't do anything. Yeah. Something's going to happen in your body, positively.
Yeah, and this is simple. This is really a simple thing to bring into your life. If you're not used to taking supplements, you may need to get in the habit of doing so. But this right here, the LOV, the lemon, and the Silman Sassy just all by itself can really be dramatically life-changing.
I also wanted to add quick in for any process for weight loss and metabolic shifting, really a good digestive enzyme is very important to bring in, especially if you are not a raw foodist. So the idea that our cooked, processed, and preservative-laden foods are nutrient poor, and they also provide an increased challenge for our digestion and our body to be able to digest them, and are the enzymes. They eat up a lot of the enzymes because raw food has natural enzymes in it. But as soon as we cook it, process it, and put preservatives, the natural enzymes are killed. So this idea of supplementing digestive enzymes to your body to help support it is very important, and it's going to go a long way in the idea of some daily wellness. So this is doTERRA's digestive enzymes called Terrazyme, and it's a blend of 10 active whole food enzymes and mineral cofactors that are deficient in our cooked, processed, and preservative-laden foods. All right. And then we're going to quickly go over, doTERRA has 2 different protein shakes, and one of the things we really want to highlight about the Trim Shake is this patented ashwagandha that is in it, and it is called Essentia Trim. But it is this beautiful herb. It comes from Ayurvedic medicine originally, and it is really wonderful. So ashwagandha has been clinically shown to help control stress-induced appetite, overeating, and carbohydrate cravings. One of the things I learned in naturopathic school is how ashwagandha is very helpful in supporting our healthy cortisol response. So cortisol is our stress hormone, and it really gets high as we are living a more stressful lifestyle, and which is basically kind of the modern lifestyle. And cortisol, one of the things I really want you to look in that, if you're looking at the slide in the parentheses, it is known to trigger the accumulation of fat around the stomach, hips, and thighs. So that is the idea. When we are more stressed out, what our body does is, in the presence of higher amounts of cortisol, it is going to, we're having more insulin, and that is creating more fat, and the cortisol then tells our body to put that fat in all the areas we don't want it. So it's that fat deposition in the place of the body that are exactly where we don't want. So but what we know is from the ashwagandha on a clinical level, right, helping support a cortisol, helping to support a healthy blood sugar level, energy levels, and healthy cortisol.
And we want to point out that if you're using this for the weight loss program, you can use this as a meal replacement. So you could use this as your breakfast, but also, again, just for your healthy lifestyle, if you're on the go and you need a quick shake in the morning to keep your blood sugar level, to give you that nourishment and that fuel for the day, this is also a great breakfast.
Yeah. So they have a vanilla and a chocolate flavor in the Trim Shake, and they have two different versions. So they have the regular, which is a whey protein and egg protein combination. So it's going to be both whey and egg protein, and you can choose either the chocolate or vanilla. And then they have a vegan form of the V-Shake, and that is just a vanilla, and it is made from pea, amaranth, and quinoa proteins. There's no soy involved. And the one things I would say about the two of them is that the whey and egg protein shake is, I mean, if you've ever had whey protein, it is incredibly yummy and delicious. The pea, amaranth, quinoa is a little more kind of neutral. It's not as sweet, and I like to add in, I have frozen blueberries, I do different things that I add into that shake, as we all do. There's, I think in that Slim and Sassy brochure, actually one of the fold-out pages is all these different shake recipes, and there's wonderful shake recipes on all of the many doTERRA blogs. All right, so this is a little precursor to our daily wellness program, and we're going to be coming out with these webinars. And the idea is a 4 to 5 part webinar series showing and teaching people how to begin utilizing doTERRA oils and products for their daily wellness. And this is the first one. This is a general guideline about how can I start to work them into my life and lifestyle safely. And what I want to highlight here is, if you'll notice, basically there's 3 rows of 3. The first 2 rows we've covered. So the first 2 rows is similar to this, the New Year, New You. This is general health for everybody. So the idea is taking the Lifelong Vitality Pack twice a day, and there's a full dose and a half dose. I always have people start safely with the half dose, using a Terrazyme with taking that, because you will be taking that LLV with meals. So that's with your, I always usually have people have it with their morning and evening meals. And you'll see in the middle during the day, lemon, or that bottle basically stands for any citrus oil in your water. Utilizing Slim and Sassy to help with healthy metabolism and blood sugar response through the day, either in your water, under your tongue, or as a capsule. And then there's 3 other concepts. And I'm just going to give a little teaser about those. That the first one on the top is On Guard, and this is really the best way to help support your immune system and have a healthy and better working immune system. And so I teach to be putting On Guard on your feet, topically, on the bottoms of your feet in the morning, using and that balance in the daily under the mood. Stands for utilizing any oil that really resonates with you, and there's 5 different mood blend oils that doTERRA has come out with, and you usually say choose one and start there. And if you don't know what to choose, start with balance. And using that topically on your wrists, on the bottom of your feet, behind your ears, or the back of your neck through the day as needed to help support your mood and your stress levels. As we know, higher stress definitely is correlated with insulin insensitivity and weight gain. And then lavender, in supporting a healthy sleep, because as we've stated, that disrupted sleep and poor sleep is definitely correlated as well with having insulin resistance.
Okay, so we're going to wrap it up with just a few announcements, but these are all people in our community that have had life-altering experiences with the essential oils. You can see Erin Ingraham in the middle of the slide. She's the beautiful woman that introduced me to the oils. I've shared a little bit about my Lyme story and how they really help restore my health. Down in the left-hand corner, we have John Mulrooney, who has suffered from a stroke and is now using the oils just for his well-being and his health maintenance. Christy Greco and her beautiful daughter, Amelia, she used the oils during her pregnancy, and she uses the oils with her beautiful little daughter in so many ways, just for their health and vitality. Our beautiful Elizabeth, who is also a new diamond in doTERRA, she is retired from her massage practice and shares the oils with others and uses them in her life and with her beautiful children. And then we have our wonderful Kate Kettlewell, who has also had a lot of restoration in her health and improvement with some health issues she's had. And then that is my dear friend Heather up in the right-hand corner with her grandchild. And she's used the oils for her pets and for herself and her mental, emotional health. So we could show you pages and pages and pages of people that have testimonials and life-changing stories, but just want to share some of the faces from our community and the people that are using the oils. Okay, we are excited. So like I said, we're going to do these classes monthly. They're going to be the second Wednesday of every month live. And our topic for February will be a little bit more esoteric. It's about chakra balance and how to bring the oils in for healing and balancing the body through the different chakras. This will be with Trisha and Kriana. And there is a link there that you can go and register if you want to copy and paste that link, but we'll also be posting that on the Facebook page for you to register if you want to join us live. We invite you, if you're not already part of our community, to join us. Our group is called Essential Wellness, and little did I know when I named the group Essential Wellness PDX, which is Essential Wellness Portland, that this would actually become our international organization. I wasn't thinking big enough. I had no idea all the people that would start showing up and start joining our community. And again, that's really why we wanted to offer these webinars, is that we want to be able to share the education, Dr. Josie's brilliance, and all these things we're doing in Portland Live. We want to share with all of you that are not here in Portland. But if you're new and you would like to join us, when you open up a wholesale account, you get added to our group as a benefit. So you can talk to the person that invited you, they can give you the details, and then as soon as you open your wholesale account, you'll get added to our Facebook page. We also want to share that there is an amazing business opportunity here, and as you begin to use the oils and experience them, if you'd like to learn how to get them for free, earn a little extra income, or like I've done and Dr. Josie has done, completely replaced your income and share the oils as a business, again, please talk to the person that introduced you. If you do not have a connection and you just found this webinar on Facebook, I will give you my email address and you can connect with us and we can share more about that as well. And we have a very special offer for any of those of you that don't have accounts set up already. And I really think this is actually the very best offer that doTERRA offers all year. They do it once a year. It's not going to happen again. So if you're thinking about getting an oil account, truly now is the time. So just give me a few moments and I'm going to explain how this works. If you open your account, and again, the person that shared this webinar with you can give you more of the details about how all of that process works. But if you open your account with a 100-point opening order, that's pretty much equivalent to $100, and then you set up your loyalty rewards, that's the monthly ordering program, for $100 for next month, the company is going to give you 100 points credited to your account, which is pretty much the same as getting $100 of free product. Now, just for the next couple of days, this actually ends on the 15th. If you do a 200 PV opening order, you will also get a free bottle of frankincense. This is pretty much a $70 value, and so you're getting $170 basically in savings. We didn't talk a lot about frankincense. In fact, we didn't talk about it at all in this presentation. But this is a must-have oil for everybody. I'm just going to say that. It's a multi-purpose, it's anti-inflammatory,
well, that's the thing. We talked about inflammation.
Yes.
And how detrimental inflammation is to the healing process and the weight loss process. That whole cell membrane is made up of the phospholipid fat layer, and when that's inflamed, that's inflammation, and things don't go, they're not passing through correctly in and out, and all things flow badly from there.
Yes.
So, yeah, frankincense is our premier anti-inflammatory oil, and working with our brain and our neurochemistry, everything.
And the non-doctor talk, it's good for the skin, it's good for the emotions, so many things. And I'm going to give you a little tip here. So if you open your order with the Natural Solutions kit, which is a mid-range kit, from opening with that kit, you're going to get 100 points back from that kit as well. So if you open with that kit, you'll get the 100 points back for that. You'll get an additional 100 back for the promo and your free frankincense. So right now, this is the way to really maximize your membership, is to open with the Natural Solutions kit. Then you'll get that 200 points back and your free frankincense. And the way that this works is, please take a screenshot of this page once you enroll, or your new wellness advocate enrolls, and they set up their opening order and their 100 PV point order for the following month, for February. You're going to go to this website. You're going to enter in their wellness advocate number and their password, and then you're going to enter this special code. This code is linked to this class, and it's only good for 3 days. So this offer is good from 3 days from today. If you are watching this webinar, and again, you don't have a contact with doTERRA, please email us at Essential Wellness PD, notice the xx@gmail.com, and we will set up an appointment with you to get you going. So I think that wraps everything up for us today. I want to thank you all so much for being patient with our technical glitches. Yes. Hopefully we'll get that all worked out for next time, but otherwise I think everything went fairly smoothly. And is there anything else you'd like to say, Josie? No. She just has a big smile on her face.
Congratulations, and I'm not even going to say good luck to all of us, just congratulations, because the shifts and changes, you implement and start doing this, and it will just start to, it'll happen.
Yeah. We're so excited. We have so many great topics we're going to bring to you this year. We'll be bringing some special webinar series. We had spoke about doing Josie's concept of daily wellness, working with the cleanse, working with hormone balance. So stay tuned for many more great and informative classes coming up. So we're going to say goodbye. Thank you all so much, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.